Hey all, Cohen here. So I wanted to do a video and I attempted to do one on the weekend. However, when I started filming it, I got a phone call and I had to go pick up my wife and son from the dentist's office, so I couldn't finish it. And as you all know, I'm not one to edit or clip pieces together and things like that. I'm not fancy. So I just decided that I would start over. So, um, it's been a while, I think, since I last talked to everyone, and there's been a lot going on, to be honest. I, uh, I believe I said before that this June I had stepped down as head of Pride and handed it over to Adam, who was on the committee, and so now Adam is head of Pride. The committee is still the same committee, and they are also looking for, I think, two more members. However, I still run Community Binbrook, the social support meetup, and just FYI for anybody, I am holding a Community Binbrook social support meetup on September 29th from 12 p.m. until 2 p.m. at the Fairgrounds Park by the Water Tower in Binbrook. So if anybody would like to come out, I figured I'd do an outdoor one since it's been so nice. Hopefully the weather keeps up. If not, they have a big overhang with some picnic tables that we can sit under anyways. So um, check out Trans Fellas. I will post something about that this coming week. Anyhow, that's something that I still have going on. Summer was busy, went by really fast. My son started grade 1. And throughout the summer, I had a few car issues, which kind of ate away at my wallet. My car is paid off Friday, and obviously things like that happen, so it's been stressful, but at least the car will be paid off, and I fixed the things that needed to be fixed. Today, luckily, I was having an issue with my AC, and we were pretty sure that just like the the tube to drain any condensation from the AC was blocked. So, because prior to that, after I'd gotten my tires changed on my car and my car aligned, it was making a noise that sounded like a slush puppy machine. And I was just like, really? I've had 4 things that I've had to fix. And to be honest, I ended up buying the parts and having a friend do the work because it would have cost me so much more. But it was, to me, it was still a lot of money to fix. Um, but then when my car started sounding like a slush puppy machine when I was turning, and then the condensation started leaking inside the car into the passenger seat and a little bit of the driver's seat. And luckily, that's just condensation, just water, so it's not a big deal. It's not like it was any fluid that would damage anything. So, actually, my dad came over today and used a zip tie and got under the car and poked the zip tie into the AC tube, and it unblocked whatever was in there. So, from things that come down into your vents and fall and stuff at the front of your car, uh, that can get into those types of things and block it up. Anything could really block it up, but for 8 years it wasn't an issue. So luckily it was literally just a block in the tube, and all of this water came out. Like there was probably at least, if not a liter and a half, 2 liters of water that came out. So now it's all good. I had taken the car for a drive and there is no slush puppy noise. So that's really good, and just a big relief that we didn't have to spend money to fix that, and that my dad is quite handy and looked up how to sort out what he thought was wrong, because half the time, especially with how stressed I've been, I can't even, if somebody were to say, what kind of sound is the car making? I would be so focused on trying to make the sound that I would do it completely wrong, and I wouldn't be able to explain it either. Like, I had to tell my dad, like, take the car for a drive because I cannot. And it's not a hard, they weren't hard sounds to explain either. It's just how stressed I've been. Um, and then What else? What else? This Sunday I will be at Brant Pride Joy in Paris, Ontario. Uh, I will be vending with my business ESI Designs. So if anybody is in the Paris or Brant area, stop by. There will be some speakers, performers, entertainment, and there will also be a bunch of vendors, part of our queer community. So if you would like to or have time, stop by, come say hi. What else? Surgery, obviously, is the main reason I wanted to make this video, but I just wanted to get a few things out of the way to kind of put out there. Oh, before surgery, I'll talk about this. So I got a new therapist, and I was a little bit worried. My other therapist was awesome. However, I was finding that our schedules weren't lining up, and then also I decided to take the approach of having a trans therapist. And for me personally, um, at a certain point, I felt like I was just venting to a friend or another trans person. And I know that would not be the case for everybody, but for some reason, that's just how it started to feel. So when my therapist had told me that our schedules weren't lining up and that it would be best if I looked into somebody else, and I actually was given the name and contact of someone that works in his office for him, and I ended up consulting with her, and she was lovely. And then I've had 2 appointments. However, I have coverage under NIHB, which is Indigenous coverage for insurance medical benefits. It doesn't cover too much, and I only recently found out within the last year and a half about it covering therapy, because my doctor's office, when I asked them to connect me with their in-house mental health team, at first they said yes, and then they told me that I was ineligible, that I could not use their services because I had Indigenous funding for therapy, which I was unaware. And then at that point, they told me to go off and find my own therapist that deals with Two-Spirit people, trans people, and takes Indigenous funding. So that took a bit. But so fast forward to where I am now, and I had 2 really good appointments. However, during those appointments, my funding wasn't being like, it wasn't being processed properly, I guess. But the way that we're gonna do it is that she's gonna get it's gonna be back paid to her, so she will get paid for it. However, I was supposed to have an appointment, I believe, this week, and unfortunately it had to be canceled because she contacted me and had let me know that somehow someone in the department that deals with the funding had royally screwed up my paperwork and denied me. And that shouldn't be the case at all. I am actually approved, and I am approved to see this therapist. It's like somebody just screwed up royally on my paperwork, so now I'm on a freeze from therapy. It's only been 2 weeks, but then again, like, I have surgery coming up in about 2.5 weeks roughly, and I also don't get coverage for surgery while I'm out of the country, or sorry, for therapy while I'm out of the country. So while I'm away for surgery, I don't have access to a therapist. And at this point, the government takes a long time to do anything, so I don't know how long I will have to wait for my coverage to be fixed and reinstated so that I can book again. I'm hoping that by the time I'm back from surgery, things will be fixed and organized, but to be honest, I highly doubt it. So, that's another, I can't believe I forgot that, because that's one of the main reasons why things are so hectic as well right now. And I said this was going to be a short video, so like, I lied, just so everyone's aware, FYI. I didn't think I was going to go into the first bit. I thought I'd just do a surgery update, and now I'm like, actually, I should probably get into some other stuff, because life happens. And, you know, when you're going into surgery, and I know that I have some friends that are going in for surgery or have recently had surgery that I follow online, and just talking with them as well. It's, you know, life is going on all around you while you're planning your surgeries, while you're going through your surgeries and recovery and everything like that. So I think it's important to also express that, because a lot of the times, and I know for myself, most of the time I'm on here talking about surgeries or trans related things, and I do share like my personal life as well, but sometimes I think giving more backstory a little bit, I guess I might start doing, because it's just been really difficult to have not people understand, but just um it's a lot to go through. And I think when people think of certain things, it's just like they're just thinking of this one thing. So it's like, yeah, you're going through surgery, and that's like, you know, a big deal, and it's this, that, whatever they might say or think about it. Um, but then it's a matter of the rest of what's going on in the world in your life just kind of isn't there and isn't considered. So when you have your everyday life going on, and then you do something like this, it's a lot added on to it. And I think it's very important to make that a point, so that it's not just, oh, well, during this chunk of time I'm having surgery and nothing else is going on, because that's not the reality. There's always stuff going on, things are always happening. And so like I've mentioned before in this video, that I've had quite a bit go on, and I haven't, like, there are other things too. It's just a matter of that. Those are, I think, the largest things that I can think of right now. But so surgery. I have my surgery on October 11th. Like I've told everybody, I will be leaving on October 9th for surgery on October 11th, and then I'm cleared to come back October 21st. So I contacted Hope Air, and I heard back that I am approved for flights for both me and my wife, because my wife will be my caregiver. So the flights will be covered, and 5 nights of my stay in a hotel, which is good. I do know other people who had flights, hotel, uh, food, and Ubers covered, but you know, at the end of the day, like, beggars can't be choosers, and this helps regardless. So, at this stage, what is going on is that they are looking into my surgery dates and stuff with Crane Center, and I also have sent them the paperwork for it as well. So they have told me that once they sort out where I will be staying, they will let me know, because I let them know that 5 days of accommodations would bring me to being 2 days post-op. And for me to have to move to a different location would not be great. So if they could let me know what hotel they're going to be booking me in, then at most, if I have to switch rooms, that's not a huge deal. But if I have to book an Airbnb and then move all my stuff 2 days post-op, it's really, I don't think it's a good thing, not for my recovery and physically, mentally, that kind of thing. So they did let me know. The only thing is that I have to have my forms and information into Crane Center 2 weeks before my surgery, and that's coming up like fairly quickly. So I need to have the address for my accommodations where I'm staying on the forms. And they don't mind if I send in my forms, because everything else is done on the forms. It's just the address of where I'll be staying. And because I've been there a few times and they know that I'm waiting on funding, they know that I will have somewhere to stay. So they said I could send that in later. However, I kind of don't want to send in bits and pieces. So hopefully, and also just so that I can book it. and figure out money for food and Ubers and things like that, it would be really great if I find out soon, because they also need mine and my wife's information to book our flights. So I'm hoping that I hear tomorrow. If I don't hear by like later on tomorrow before they close, I'm going to give a call and just say, hey, do you have any information, or are you going to be calling me within the next day or 2 business days to get any information, or should I expect an email? Because I did get an email saying I should expect one more email, but they've been pretty backed up, and it took them over 2 weeks to even look at my request, and that was because I called in and somebody pulled my file and sent it instantly to a representative. So that's how it ended up actually getting started, is because I called, and they're very apologetic. Everybody that I've talked to at Hope Air has been really great, so I would recommend it for anybody who is, a little bit low income, or if your surgery costs are pretty large. If you live in Canada, I would suggest checking it out. It's not always a guarantee, but it is something to look into. So that's also a bit of a stressor, is the fact that at this point in time, I don't have my flights and my accommodations booked. I have about 3 weeks till surgery. This coming week, I have a doctor's appointment to go get a test done, and then also fill my meds, because I have coverage for meds here, so I get them here so that I don't have to pay for them in the US. I have gotten most of my medical supplies, and I don't think there's too much else really. Like, I'm gonna contact Crane's office next week to just send some update pictures, so that when I have my phone consult on October 8th, then that will be all there for him to access, so he has a more present view of what's going on versus seeing me on day of surgery, because I do pre-op over the phone. I don't think there's anything else. Like I said, I'm sure you can tell in this video that I've just been very stressed out, and there's been a lot going on. To be honest, like, a lot of people will jump in the comments and say, oh, it's because you're doing all this trans stuff. And to be perfectly honest, it's not. My stressors and things that happen in everyday life are generally the cause of my stress, and my transness does not generally come into play. Like, yes, surgery is stressful, but one thing that causes it to be stressful is that I am somebody who needs to be very organized and planned out everything. And normally I have my flights and accommodations booked at least 3 months before my surgery, so having it be just about 3 weeks before my surgery now, and I don't have that done, it's stressing me out. And I think it would stress anyone out if you're used to having things done a certain way. But because I am receiving coverage help, I'm grateful for that. And just, it's one of those things, like, yeah, I'm going through this, and it happens to be a trans-related surgery, but I'm not bothered by it. It doesn't make me upset. It doesn't make me, I'm not scared. I'm not, like, whatever feelings people think that I'm supposed to be feeling, maybe, I don't think are what you think they are. And I've also had comments on my videos before about how, like, I'm a fast talker, or like I have a twitch or something. And I've addressed that in videos before, where I do have like a little bit of like either sometimes my eyes or sometimes my neck. But like, it's nothing to do with me being on drugs. So for those people that have been in the comments saying that, like, one, I'm mentally ill because I'm trans, and two, like, I'm clearly a drug addict. If I was a drug addict, I wouldn't be able to go get these surgeries because there are very specific guidelines. And if you do see any, like, off movements or my eyes or whatever, I touch my face a lot. Like, it's something that has nothing to do with anything that would alter my perception or mind. It is simply because I have anxiety and I do have other mental health issues that when I become stressed out, I will speak faster, and certain things, I will talk with my hands more. And then I'm also going to say that I was assigned female at birth and raised female. So my voice will go higher during certain points just because that's how I talk. And sometimes I talk fast because as a female, I talked fast. It was just so, like, I have certain female traits that I'm not gonna hide. And it's not because I want to be a female. It's just because this is who I am. And I don't care. And for anybody who still wants to assume what they want, um, I'm gonna be completely honest. I have never, ever done any hard drugs. I've only ever smoked weed and drank. That's the only thing. I've never, ever, ever touched anything else in my life. I have, I'm not passing judgment on anybody who has or does. I am just saying that I have not. And I know that there are people out there who have said things about me, and I don't appreciate it. And if you want to assume that tics that I have or things that you find off that affect me personally, if you want to go ahead and try to think that you can explain it away by that or whatever, it's actually quite offensive for you to, one, make a point of pointing them out in such a way, and to assume the reason why they are there. I've noticed in this video, I've been touching my face a lot, that I have spoken very fast, and other things. So I wanted to address that, and also just the prior part of my video where I was explaining what's been going on. So I think anybody would really be in some sort of funk or have some sense of being off if they were talking about these things as well, regardless of anything. So in that note, I just want to remind everybody that we all have things going on, and then when we have other things that we gotta go do for ourselves or are coming into our lives that are difficult or could be difficult, that we just have to remember that there are other things going on. We can all be judgmental. We can all think that everybody's life is just fine and dandy, or you can assume that it's not, and that I have an issue with substances, if you choose to, I guess. But yeah, just there's a lot of us out here sharing, and these things are stressful. However, they become more stressful when regular life is also a part of it. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. If anybody who wasn't trans was going through some sort of large surgery, treatment, anything like that, it ends up being very much the same. So when you do watch videos like mine and other people's, just please keep in mind that it's not really any different than anyone else going through something extra in life along with their life, regardless of what it is. But I'm going to stop there because at the beginning of this video, I said I want to make a short video, and then halfway through, roughly, I told you that I was lying. So now I'm going to end it, and I'm not going to fib. So I will update you possibly next week. about what is going on because I should have some more information. I'll show you what I have for medical supplies, and I'll talk to y'all later. Hope you have a great weekend. Peace.